Hello everyone, welcome to Substitute Pepper's Fireside. It's not Sunday, so everyone's confused. I'm here with Brian and Andy. How you doing, Brian?
All good, buddy. Yourself?
I'm great. You look very ready to canvass for Labour today.
Yeah, there's no need to swear.
It's the red tie crew. I'm not interested. Sorry. And Andy the Bombardier, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Yourself?
I'm good. We might have to deal with Brian freezing a lot today. 50p in the meter, please, Brian. Get that internet.
Is it buffering, is it?
It was. It has done a few times. We're all right now. We'll
How long did
grin and bear it.
How long did it take you to get back, Mike, from the meet?
How long did it take me to get back? Technically 4.5, 5 hours, but I stopped halfway to see my son, the one that's made me a granddad, and
all right, cool.
What I think about
brilliant.
Making me a granddad. Yes, I am back from the prep meet. The prep meet was awesome. Anyone was there, it was great to see you. Anybody who wasn't there, why? And I'm going to be going to the Cornwall one as well and taking Mrs. Urban Prepper and Baby Prepper with us. And all three of us are also going to the Midlands meet. So if you don't know anything about the meets, look at the older videos, check out the Discord. It's all on there. This one is a scenario one. So we're going to be talking. Hello, everyone in the chat, by the way. I'm completely out of touch with everyone, but hello, everyone. Hi, Miss Worm. Thanks for keeping in check. And big shout out to Evil Girl 87, moderator on Facebook as well. And Riff's there as well. He was at the Pembrokeshire meet, so it was good to see him. Right, before we start,
we bandaged up.
Yeah. Honestly, it was another case of the same as the Scottish one. If we'd have filmed half the stuff that had happened, it'd have been a much longer, more interesting video. But I was too involved. I was the volunteer dead guy to begin with, so that pleased a lot of people. Right, before we do anything else, we need Miss Worm to read a disclaimer.
Right, listen up, you lot. What you are about to watch is a thought experiment. We've dragged together the finest minds in the country, and Brian, to see how they would cope in different scenarios. These scenarios are not real, and these people may not even exist anywhere other than in your own mind. So pull your panties up and get a grip. Remember, there's no need to panic. It's not real. Yet.
There we go. Right. So, let me set the scene, gentlemen. Anyone in the chat, feel free to get involved when I ask the questions and stuff like that. I'll try and keep up with the chat best I can. You've got the option of a super chat. If it's a question, put it in capitals, and I'll try and keep up with it. These guys have both run lives now, so they know what I struggle with. So, scenario, what's happened? So, you're going to work 2 o'clock on a Wednesday afternoon. It's you're in work or wherever you would be at that time if you're not in work, but that's where you are. And we'll set the scene by you get a notification saying UK Urban Preppers uploaded a new video, and you're like, that's weird at 2 o'clock in the afternoon,
Press delete.
Do you want to see the video? Yeah, I'm just setting this up. I need to just take out whatever cash you can from the one down the road, and then use the card in the shop and just get whatever you can, cans wise. Nothing fresh, just long life stuff. Alright, I'm just going to do this. Sorry about that, guys. No intro. The solar monitoring has picked up, and it got to X23 before the monitors actually cut out. So we could have 12, 14 hours at the most before we could see a major grid down situation. Now, don't want to cause panic. I'm putting this out to the network and the members, that's it, because I don't want to be inciting panic amongst anyone else or, getting chaos in the shops, but get out and get what you can. We're just going to go out and get what cash we can out now. Cash will still be valid for a while afterwards. We've talked about this in the past. So do what you can, do what you need to prepare, get everything into a Faraday cage you possibly can. There's loads of videos on here and on my channel and on other channels how to build one, but worst case scenario, throw stuff in the microwave as well. Whatever you can to be ready, do it within the next 8 to 10 hours. It should be about 12 to 14 before it gets here, but get that done as soon as possible and get as safe as you can. Remember, quickly get all the guides off on the Discord. all the radio frequencies. Make sure you've at least got some of them written down for your area, and you can be in touch with people, and you've got radios or mesh systems in your Faraday bag, your Faraday cage, whatever you've got ready. This is not a drill. This is not a joke. This is not an April Fool's. Get it done now. I'm going to get this uploaded straight away. There's no point in adverts or anything like that. And hopefully, one day I'll see you again soon on the channel. Thank you all. Stay safe. And God go with you. So, there you go. The expected impact.
Brilliant.
The expected impact is at 4:36 a.m. That's when we expect it to hit based on when it was emitted. We only got to X23 before the actual satellites cut out. The monitoring systems broke pretty much because it was directly Earth facing. So it could be X40, 50, 60, 100. We have no idea. So the first thing you've seen of this is you're at work, you're at your workplace, and that video's come out. Now, we all take YouTube videos with a pinch of salt. So the question first is, are you reacting to it, Brian?
Yes. I trust you enough by now to act on that.
Yeah? What would you be doing? Just literally get home job?
Say, on the way home, phone the wife, phone my kids who would be out the house, tell them to get home. Not listening to any of their usual shit about how they can't do it. Forceful as possible. Get home straight away.
Mm-hmm. And how far would that be at the most for you? What's the furthest afield you might be working, distance-wise?
Hopefully I'd be local, which would be about 40 minutes max. But if I was working away, it would be a problem. But if I was local, it would be about 40 minutes at the most.
And
so,
if you were away, is that usually like London or?
I could be in London, I could be Bolton, I could be in Sheffield, I could be anywhere. But that's maybe once or twice a year now. So
I lived in Bolton. You're already in SHTF if you're there.
chances are I'd be on my way home, mate, within about 20 minutes to 40 minutes. And on my way home, I'd be picking up as much shit as I could stuff in the car. Mm-hmm. Prep-wise, tins, water, just fill the whole thing, empty the bank, overdraft cards a lot, max ever out.
Yeah, okay, well, that's a lot of trust in me. Thank you, Brian. And then it doesn't come and you're like, you. Andy, where are you? 2 o'clock in the afternoon or like that kind of time?
To be fair, mate, I'd be at work, but my work now is 10 minutes walk from my house. So I'm in a pretty cushy.
Would you react to the video or would you be waiting and looking around doing some research?
No, I'd react, mate. I'd go home. Mm-hmm. And as I'm walking out of the main gate, I'd be ringing the wife and saying, "You need to come home now. Just tell work it's a family emergency. Tell work something." And we've got stuff here, mate, for at work from home anyway, so it'd be an easy premise for us. You could say something's happened at home. I'll work from home for the next 3 hours or whatever. So I would head straight home, and then as soon as she got home, then it would be game time, I suppose.
Would either of you share this knowledge with work colleagues at this time?
No.
Before you leave?
Nope.
Yes.
Yes.
That we've got our team is relatively small. There's only 12 guys, and 4 or 5 in particular are good friends of mine. So, and they've got families. I would tell them. Whether they would act on it, I don't know, but I would certainly tell them.
Excellent, excellent, cool. Right, so you both headed home, and you know you're not in London, Brian. Don't worry, I'm not going to throw you under the bus. And you both get home because relatively, this is like people very dismissive about what they're hearing. It's not just my video up there. You know, Canadian Preppers put something up there. They've all started putting stuff up there. Even mainstream media have had a little story saying, "Oh, it's been an interesting solar flare. We might see some northern lights." So it's out there, but people are very dismissive of it. So an hour or two passes by, you get home, no problems, and so does your partner, kids, whoever else is meeting you there. So you're at home. You've got roughly 8 to 10 hours to do any last-minute preps. There's plenty of suggestions in the chat, which I'll come to after you guys, but what's the plan of action? Andy, what happens when you get home? What's the drills?
So I would say just a little bit before that, mate, on my way home, I go past a Tesco Superstore. So,
Yeah.
and I've always got my day sat with me. So on my way home, I've always usually got £100 cash on me. But like Brian said, I'd take extra cash out with the cash machine because there's 2 cash machines there. I would head in, mate, and I would grab anything that I thought that could fit my bag, that I thought would be worth half the extra. Whether that be tins, whether that be water, whether it would be little bits and bobs that I thought would need, or maybe I was lacking on, I would do. And then as soon as I got home, mate, and then, to be fair, mate, one thing I'm lacking here is like Faraday bags or Faraday cages. So the only thing I could do, mate, realistically, is put stuff in the microwave, like you said. That would be the. I don't think that would be the first thing, mate, but I suppose things that I'm not using could go in the microwave. I would stay on my mobile to talk to people. So once I'm at home, then I would start reaching out to people and say, "Have you seen this video? Send the YouTube link." At that point, mate, if they still say, it's not my type of thing, then you're on your own. I'm not in the business of convincing people, mate, that you need to get yourself sorted. So that would be my first port of call, mate. So difference, Mike, between a CME and an EMP, which one's worse?
EMP would be worse. EMP would be worse because it would fry all small electronics and stuff like that. Now, there's a chance that a CME, as a grand scale, could fry some stuff in your car and stuff like that, but it's more likely to need a large aerial and stuff like that, like the power lines. But it is a small chance because everything is theoretical till something like this massive hits us. So better safe than sorry in my eyes for stuff like that. Hence me panically telling people last minute. So what you saw from me was I've just told her to go down to the local shop. There's a cash machine outside. Draw out whatever you can. Go in the shop and spend the rest on the card as much as you can. As much as she could carry or get in the car without, looking too much like a crazy person. So she's gone and done that, and the baby was crying, so she took that with her. And while she's doing that, I'll start procedures here. So Andy, what you've like thrown some stuff into microwave, stuff like that. Brian, as soon as you get home?
As soon as I get home, I've already told my brother, family, friends, grabbed some stuff. Make sure everybody's actually in the home. Explain to them, no bullshit. What's happening? It's we're not fucking about. It's real. Give them all jobs to do. So my jobs would be isolating from the grid. I would pop all the breakers and probably take the 80 amp fuses out as well. I would disconnect all the MC4 connectors from the shed and the house, and I would fire as a precaution a couple of sets of radios and some other things into the Faraday cage. And after domestically it was done like that, which wouldn't take that long. Knock all the neighbours in a row, tell them all, purely because if there is a CME and it arcs through and they've got shit plugged in, they could set fire to my house as well. So and then also discuss with them, look, we need to get a fire watch set up for the street in case shit goes on fire. Now,
how responsive do you think that's going to be? Are you going to get, okay, that's the crazy guy from down the road, or will they do it? I mean, because it's a difficult sell when the BBC haven't told them to do it, right?
Can I add something to man, Mike?
Yeah, of course.
So as soon as I got home, I'd ring Bri and I'd say, Brian, what do I need to do? And then he'd tell me, so next, that's what I'm doing. That's my plan. My plan's ring Brian.
So for the rest of the live, Andy's just going to go, same answer. You tried to get through to Brian, but his phone's engaged. Sorry, Andy. Right. Yeah, how are you selling that to them, Brian? Because I can't, honestly, I get it, and it's a great idea, but I can't see it. You'll get people going, yeah, sure, close the door, put the TV back on.
On one side, he's a knob. I would literally just pull his fuses out his distribution board and take them. That's done. Next door, no, I would, honestly. That no time for fucking about. Give me them, gone. That's it. Next door, beg, plead, whatever. And then the two down, same again. If they're not receptive, things might change later on to make them more receptive, but I would have to assume that they're not going to do it and plan accordingly. Somebody's going to need to watch for fires and stand by fire extinguishers in case their houses go whoosh and it becomes my problem. Yeah. So that'll only take 10, 20 minutes, and then get onto Discord and try and establish some sort of comms with Mesh, and we're going to shut it down for such and such a time, and try and come back up on such and such a time. That's me done at that point.
That's you done at that point. So, I mean, I'd be unplugging everything. We already know that. And I've got 2 Faraday boxes now, so I'd throw stuff in there just in case. But I don't think it would affect that. But, you know, better safe than sorry in that way. Water. Nobody's mentioned water.
I did.
Did you? What did you say?
I said on the way home I'd be getting food as much
no,
food and water as
not
I could
buying
carry.
it. I mean, at home.
Aye.
So, filling containers, filling the bath, stuff like that. So, water needs to be a plan as well, because it's mentioned.
Yes.
Somebody's mentioned it in the comments. So, let's just go through a few of them. I've grabbed my Disclax Faraday hold all, says Gatwick Scuba.
Nice.
Disconnect your car batteries, says Paul Thomas. Unplug everything, says Polonium. Yep. If colleagues have not listened to you prior, there's no use trying now, says Pat Riot.
I don't know. I mean, they've
try.
got kids, eh?
Yeah, you got to try.
I get what he's saying, but my conscience wouldn't let me not say to them that these guys have got children, and what are you going to do realistically? You're going to sneak out the door and go, fuck it, you're on your own? Nobody's going to do that. I get what it means, but
I'd
you're not going to do
have
that.
done that at some workplaces I've worked in the past, but I'd be suggesting to some of my bosses they take a flight somewhere.
And see, because they don't stay next to me as well or near me, it's not like they're going to be taking stuff out the supermarket that I need. So there's no threat to resources.
No, not at that stage. Not at that stage, definitely. Apocalypse Now, make another Faraday cage for more electronics. It is super quick and easy to make something out of a box, cardboard line it, wrap it in tinfoil until you've run out of tinfoil, keep some of that in, sort of thing. Don't just get a metal bin, put the lid on and hope it works. Brian will tell you it doesn't. So yeah,
it does
just
not.
make sure anything's better than nothing. It's if you've got a full metal safe, like a full secure safe, there's a chance radios will survive in that as well. If it's not got the rubber seal, if it touches metal on metal, there's a chance it'll survive on that as well. So
just wrap it in an insulator before you put it in, so there's no conductive path. Yeah.
Yes, always stick them in some sort of bag or cardboard, even wrapped up around it, anything like that. Clean and fill the bath. No power, no water soon after. It won't be long before pumping stations are out if the power is out on the national grid. Clean and fill the bath is definitely a good one. Another good one is you can get, for not much money, a bath liner. It's like a big bag that just fits in your bath, and you fill that with water and it's already clean, so you don't have to worry too much about drinking where grandma's feet were washed. And charge everything as soon as you get in. That's one for me. I'll stick everything on charge. Stick the car on charge. Can I wrap the whole car in cardboard and tinfoil? There's a test to do. Right, so everyone's prepared a bit. We're on Discord. It's going off it on Discord. We're getting the communications out as much as we can and trying to help everyone we can, as we all know we will do up until the point the power goes out. Before it happens, it's obviously 4 a.m. My question is, are you staying up? And what firefighting equipment do you have to be your own first responder? Brian?
I'd be in the street. My son would be in the street. And we would have fire extinguishers, dry powder, CO2, and I've got some fire blankets. But I would put a fire blanket outside the neighbours' houses anyway. And I've got the other sheds full of orange buckets, empty ones. So even put some shovelfuls of dirt in there and leave 1 or 2 at the doorsteps of them. If they think I'm a nutcase, it's fine. But if their house is going up in flames, 2 buckets of dirt to fling on it might make the difference between my house going up with them or not.
Or just getting out, creating a bit of an entrance in the flames for them to jump over and get out of there, right?
Fuck that, get back in and get a fire out.
I ordered my neighbour extra crispy. Get back in there. We're not laughing at the situation, all right? This is what we do on the Fireside before we get any hate in the comments. Andy, are you staying up for this at 4:30 in the morning, or are you going to sleep and then getting up, etc.? And what's your firefighting ability?
So my firefighting ability, mate, would be the same as Bry, with a fire extinguisher, fire blankets. But I would be in my back garden, mate, instead of the street, purely because, mate, in my back garden, mate, I've got better vantage point from the back garden, and I can see more. And also as well, mate, over the back. So my garden's there. Over that way is a metro line and the metro station. So I don't know how bad would a CME affect that? Would it hit it? Would it cause anything to? Because if we're on fire, that would be a big potential
kaboom.
Worry for me, or a big kaboom. And it's probably maybe 400 meters away, maybe. Yeah. So that would, if it was CME, would be a big concern for me.
So like transformers, exchanges, all these things are high at risk. The cables themselves.
There's a massive. There's a massive. Right next to the metro, mate, is a huge like transformer site. I think it is, where it's all cordoned off, and they've got those big, massive fucking grey boxes. And there's got all those signs that say danger, electricity, death, and all that kind of stuff. There's one of them next to the metro, mate. So I'm probably dead anyway for CME. It's just going to hit the metro. And then
well, I mean, there's no accelerant to like make it a major explosion. You're just going to see a very sparky show, and the power's potentially going to go off. The thing is, during the Carrington event, so many different things happened, and you can't just say this will happen everywhere, because in some places the cables themselves burst into flames. In some places where the operators were using the Morse code things, some of them got electrocuted. Some of them were stood there and it was just tapping away on its own, going absolutely nuts. Some of them just cut out completely. So it's a roll of the dice, really. Delta Mike Down and Out says metal bin with smaller plastic bin inside. Maybe it's the metal bin that's not EMP proof. I wouldn't say like for the CMEs, but for EMPs, for the tests that you can do as regular people with radio signals and stuff like that, it's just not a good enough seal. So it's about relining that, putting more metal around it, Mike, like tin foil, etc., or 30 layers, and then swearing at it and getting angry.
Tried all of that.
Worked in the end, right?
It did.
I'm going back to bed. Shit will still be there in the morning.
Would we not be doing a live anyway, Mike? If we knew it was coming, would we not be capitalising and doing a live at 4 in the morning to watch it come in? Imagine how cool that would be. Live. Yeah, how cool that would be.
I mean, but I've got to sit here with everything plugged on. The last moment of the live was a big explosion and sparks and me disappearing. What a finale to the channel that would be.
Unless mate, we had like a cheap smartphone and we just live streamed off our phones.
Mike coming to you live from inside a Faraday bag.
Suffocates.
Yeah, I mean, potentially, it could be fun. One last party, we'll all be leathered by 3-4 o'clock. Let's have a look. My wife and I have no neighbours. We live remote in the middle of a farmland. I've got several 9-litre extinguishers and plenty of fire blankets. We have a great advantage. Definitely
living
sounds
the dream.
good. Yeah, definitely. Yep. A 1970s Piff Frisbee stuck on, this has disappeared, on an insulator is entertaining. Okay.
Oh, that's the old TV advert. Remember that?
I don't. 1970, Brian. 84 I was born.
You can go and... The advert was a little kid had a Frisbee stuck on the isolator on the pylon, and he's climbing up, and then he just touches it and it arcs across and fries him.
Oh, don't play near power lines and stuff. I remember adverts like that. Yeah. I don't think it was a Frisbee. We had modern toys by the time I was a kid. So, you could buy a ball loaded with a fire extinguisher substance that bursts on heat with a small pop to reduce a fire.
I've heard mixed reviews about the firebomb things. I've never used one, so I don't know.
How big are they?
But that size like a tennis ball.
Yeah, you need a few, wouldn't you?
I've heard different reviews and like they're kind of shite, and then other people swear by them, but I'd want something dependable. You can't go wrong with a blanket. It's never going to go out of date.
Yeah, and they're reusable, believe it or not, if you don't, crisp them too much. Right, so we're all staying up. Baths are filled. Everything's unplugged. Brian's rubbing his hands together, going, "My time to shine," counting his deltas over and over again.
He'd be laughing as well because he'd still have JP's EcoFlow Delta 3 thing. So JP'd have nothing. Brian be living the dream.
He's the greatest hero of us all. Thanks, JP, for your sacrifice.
JP's fine. He's got a giant car battery parked on his drive. So. Right. It hits. Our live stream gets cut off, surprisingly. Not by YouTube because of Brian, but by the, obviously, all the grid going down. Widespread grid failure, electrical infrastructure fried globally. Power plants, substations and transformers are practically destroyed. Satellites are disabled. GPS, internet and communication satellites are all knocked out. Fires, electrical surges cause localized fires in cities and towns all over the place, springing up quicker than any emergency service can get to them. They're completely overwhelmed straight away. Communication loss of phones, and most radios and TV stop receiving any form of signal because of obviously the satellites and the grid itself, even though the devices themselves still work. Yay! Banking system's obviously down, so all ATMs, credit cards, everything like that is gone. The water system, the electric pumps, the water kept going for a good 6-7 hours afterwards, but eventually they started to dry up. The pumps were failing. The backup power that they did have was poor. Your objective, gentlemen, is to survive and organise within the first 30 days, and that's all we're doing here, 30 days. We're not going to go into 10 years of Brian's Mountain Kingdom, Dave's Underground Kingdom, and what we did last time. Stage 1's the first 48 hours. So there's panic in urban areas, the start of mass migration to rural regions. People just want to get out of the chaos that's in the cities. It started within the first 12 hours of the following day. People were just, because they couldn't buy anything, nobody had cash, everyone uses the card. Fires are all over the place. Emergency services are overwhelmed to the point they're not even responding. And you've got to assess your own resources and your own locations. So, based on what's going on around you, there's fires on your block, Brian. At least 2 houses have fires that people are trying to get under control. And, it looks like it's being managed, but people clearly didn't take the advice. Andy, same around you. Some of the houses are burning, some are crisp. You don't know how far it's going to spread. Question right now is bug in, bug out, and what's the plan to secure where you are if you're staying? Andy.
Sorry.
So the first thing I would do, mate, is I would have to help them contain the fire, because like Brian said, if that spreads to my house, that I am screwed. That would be the first thing. The second thing, mate, I would do is, so in relation to food and that, mate, everything's stocked and I know what I've got. And if it's the first thing that's happened, nothing's really changed for me. And I know what I've got and I know what's there. So I don't really need to do a stock check or, to recheck what I've got and what I've got going on. Then, mate, what I would do is I would close all the blinds and the curtains, because in Black Hawk Down, mate, one of the reasons why the Americans got it so bad was they just had chain link fence around the compound they're working out of. So for the 8 hours before they actually left the compound, the Somalis and the gangs knew what they were doing and what they're up to. So they had an 8-hour head start on them. So the first thing I would do is, mate, I wouldn't want anyone to know that I've got power banks. I wouldn't want people to know that I've got food. I wouldn't want people to know anything that I've got or what we've got. So blinds, curtains, everything like that, mate, would be shut. I wouldn't want anybody knowing what I had.
All potential light.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Yeah. Then I would be taking steps to secure the windows with OSB and that type of stuff, already pre-cut in the garage. And then, mate, after that, I would be heading out. I'd grab my grab bag and I would head out, mate, and I would head around the estate and I would see how bad the situation was. how many houses had been hit, if there was anybody going house to house, how quickly or how badly had it went. Because I live, I imagine, mate, if there was going to be something set up as an aid station, it would be where I live. So I would be mooching about to see if any government relief had come, if there was any emergency disaster things that had been implemented. And I would walk around the entire estate, mate, and see how bad the situation was and assess the ground from there and see what I need to do moving forward. There's no point me going to DEFCON, DEFCON 1.
We'll leave you there for a second.
Yeah, go on then, mate.
We'll leave you wandering around and checking, and then I'll let you know what you find there.
All right, cool.
Right. Brian, bug in, bug out. I'm pretty sure it's bug in at this stage. How are you securing yourself, the area, stuff like that at this stage?
So it would still be fairly passive. Although, I must admit, when we gamed this or similar one like this before, I had a timeline of how I thought things would deteriorate. I've really revised that since Spain, when it all went to shit within about 24 hours. So that's really made me think how quickly people freak out and panic when they've no information. So on that basis, assuming the fires are contained in my block, then my daughter would be in the house. The doors would all be locked, and I'd have her listening to a wind-up radio. That would be on, and try and get Radio 2, Radio 4. She would have a walkie-talkie with her that we've tested works. I would have one. My son would have one. And we would do a quick recce. Not adventurous, just round the blocks to see if anybody needs any help. There's nothing crazy going to happen by fire spreading in that timeline, and make sure I've got comms with my brother up the road. That's it. In the short term, that kind of basis, yeah, that's it. She stays in the house, the doors are locked, nobody gets in or out, and she's listening to the radio for news and listening to our comms for us. And we just have a walk around.
You're heading up to your brother's. Are you just carrying the radio, or are you in full combat fatigues with 7 crossbows on your back at this stage?
No, it's passive. I wouldn't head up there. I would get him on the radio, but it's passive security at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's just observation. Yeah, just
a walk.
No problem. Andy, there's no sign of any government aid, anything like that. The one thing you have noticed as you're walking around is there's a police car that's at the side of the road. There's lots of doors open. There looks like a big bag on the back, big duffel bag on the back seat and stuff like that. No sign of any sort of officer. Doesn't even look like he's gone into a house or anything. It just looks abandoned. So,
I'm taking the bag.
Are you taking the bag?
Oh, 100% I am.
Yeah.
No ginger man leaving that there. That is
lean in.
Mate. I am
lean in. Grab the bag.
Oh, 100%, mate. I'm going like pure the Division game on the PlayStation. Everything is getting looted. Everything. Anything, mate, that's left anywhere, I'm taking. Nothing is safe if it ain't nailed down.
So, yeah, okay, so you grab the bag and you don't go rifling through it there. You want to grab and go just in case there is somebody nearby. So you grab that and start heading back. The only other things you see is families out talking to each other at the front, not knowing what's going on and stuff like that. Not necessarily anyone looting, but just lots of neighbours confused at this stage and trying to figure out what's going on. A few people ask you, passing by, do you know what's happening? Do you know what's happening?
I think I would talk, mate, to everybody who I came past by, and I would ask what they knew. You know, if they were still managed to be in contact with the family in different parts of the country, if that was possible. What did you hear from them last? What was it like here? Does anybody know anything that's happening in the city centre? Does anyone know, have you managed to speak to anyone that's further afield than us? What's it like in different areas? So I would at this stage, it'd be pure intelligence mode for me. I would be trying to get as much information, mate, as I could. And I've got a map of Newcastle, mate, on my wall. Obviously where I live, and then like the surrounding area. And on there, mate, I would have pinned out the intelligence that I found. This place is, I don't know, has been hit bad by fire. This place, no-go zone. This place, all the information, mate, that I collated, that will be constantly getting updated.
All you've had off the neighbours on the way home who've asked you if you know what's going on, all you've had is people going, I reckon it's the Russians, I reckon it's the North Koreans, I reckon it's aliens, and nobody's got anything solid, just lots of weird random theories. So you make your way home with your newly acquired bag of mystery. Brian, passive security, you've noticed 2 or 3 of the houses clear out, like load a car and off they're gone. The cars are all still working. The roads immediately around you don't look like they're gridlocked or anything abandoned, so they can get in the car and they're gone. Quite a few of them have done that. And you've had one family that's down the road approach you, come up to you, and the family down the street, they've nothing but half a filled gas can, some canned food, and a sick child, and they're begging to stay with you because they've heard about you and they've seen you on YouTube.
Oh, you utter bastard.
Do you let them in? And if you do, on what terms?
Oh, that's nasty. Wow, what a crotch punch. Well, they've obviously got...
Dad, mum, relatively nicely dressed. They only live like 5 or 6 doors away from you. You've seen them about. They're not like riff-raff, anything really bad or anything like that.
Why are they not in their own house?
I know what you should do, Bri.
Go for it.
Sorry.
You should say, prove you were a YouTube subscriber. Prove to me. Show me you were sub to my channel before you get any help from me.
No, so they've basically their next door neighbours completely burnt out, and it took half of theirs with them, and it's took some of their roof off and stuff like that. And with a sick kid and stuff, they have nowhere to go, no family to go to, and they don't have a car. So that's the situation they're in.
As luck would have it, then we just happened to notice, like you said, a lot of people had bugged out in their cars. So what we'll do is we'll just make use of one of their houses. There you go. You've got a place of shelter and safety. Well, we make sure the house is habitable. Very quickly have a look through the cupboards. They've obviously brought tins of stuff with them anyway, like you'd said. And how is the child sick?
Don't know. It just looks like cold, sniffles kind of thing at the moment. But just classic kid sick.
Well,
nobody knows.
And in the house that they've just sequestered, they're safe for the moment. There's no immediate need to do anything else other than they've got a roof over their head, and that's one problem dealt with. The child, it could be a cold, it could be anything. It's nothing to worry about.
So, okay. They're more than happy with that. They're brilliant. They're buzzing, and the dad asks for your autograph because of your YouTube channel. So yeah, everyone's really happy.
I hate it when that happens.
Can you sign this can of beans? He said.
Mr. Cockwomble.
Andy, you've got home, and in the bag there's not a massive cache of weapons. It's not the Division, I'm afraid. It's basically random case files, stuff like that, and there is shotgun rounds, and there is body armor. So that's pretty much what it is in the bag.
Hey, that's a good score.
That's a good score.
Worth taking.
It might be a good score unless the police guy finds you later. Anyway.
Yeah, but if there's been a CME, all the CCTV and everything will be wiped out, won't it? Who's going to know?
Who's going to know? So this is the first 48 hours that this has all happened. Brian's nearly turned away a starving family, and Andy's already robbed the police. Great guys, these great guys. So the question is, Andy was talking about intelligence. So the question for this 48 hours before we move on is, how are you going to find out how the extent of this and what's going on? You know how it's happened. Are you going to share that with people? And how are you going to find out more details? Brian, you said you mentioned you were trying to tune into radio, and there's nothing at the moment. There's just static. So what's the plan?
That's what you tell people. Yeah. You've got to tell them something. Otherwise, people will freak out and make up their own agenda. They'll have their own ideas. So you've got to fill that void with something. Saying what it isn't is still an answer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's no mushroom clouds, so we've not been nuked. Okay, we know there's been a general failure of the power grid, and we were pre-warned before that there was possibly a CME. Going by the fires, we've got positive confirmation, so we know what's happened. Now, I know that the chances of us coming back for that are not good. They're really not good. But I'm not going to tell people that. You're going to need to blow them up and try and stop their morale crashing in the short term. And manage expectations that it's going to be a long time, and then subtly word into the conversation. Make sure you've got water, you've got a means to collect water, put stuff out in the back garden, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Just sow the seed.
Okay. So there's no extra things you can do to try and gather some intelligence, find out what the government's planning, anything like that?
Well, passively, my daughter will be listening to the radio. We'll take it in turns listening to that, but ultimately that will be her job. That's all I want her to do, is safeguard the house on the rare occasion that she's left in there on her own, which will not be often. And that was only because people's houses were on fire, and to gather intel, any radio transmissions and lines of comms with us. Active, I'm not moving far from the street, never mind the village, because the risk versus reward just isn't in it for me. I know what's in the home, and that includes family, and I know enough that there's no need to go any further. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? There's no the risk of travelling further afield just to confirm what I already know and suspect. Doesn't make any sense.
Okay, fair enough. Andy, is that you? Are you acting on anything that you've found out or done in the last 48 hours before you bed down?
I'm heading out on I think I would head out, mate, on my bike. I think.
Okay.
And I would push out further than where I live. I'm not talking like I'm going 10 mile out the zone, but I would maybe do 2, 3, 4 mile, and I would push out, mate, to see how bad things were further afield. Because to be fair, mate, if in something like this, for me, intelligence is my number one priority. I need to know what's coming, and I need to know the CME, mate. In the scenario, like a lot of things, doesn't really bother me. It's human nature that bothers me.
Yeah,
and I want to know who's where. I want to be able to plot things on my map. I want to know if there's people coordinating here. I want to know if this place is empty. Is there vehicles? I want to know everything that I possibly can, moving out slowly in like concentric circles from where I am. So I would be going out, mate, my push bike, and like I said, I would push out maybe 3, 4 mile, and I'll be looking and plotting on my map as I go of things that I find. Because for me, mate, in this scenario, and I appreciate everyone's different. For me, and I don't disagree with Brian, mate, I think that's a good idea, staying put as well. But for me, especially if I was like Brian, mate, and I had kids, I would do the exact same. But with it just being us two, I would push out, mate, and I would want to know more of the situation around me. And I don't know, maybe that's a military thing in me. Do you know what I mean?
No, yeah.
I should always push for it. But that will be my thing, mate. That's what I would do.
So the only difference in your local area and how far you've pushed out further afield is there is emergency services out there. They're overwhelmed, but you saw some firefighters trying to put out what looked like a council building, not a private residence, but like a government building. And you've seen police cars fly past and stuff like that. So there is still emergency services.
I'll tell you what I would do, mate. I would go and talk to the fire brigade, and I would say, are you in comms with the other fire brigades around the country?
Yeah.
Or even say I'm in Newcastle, are you in contact with North Tyneside Fire Brigade? How bad is it there? Are you in contact with South? You know what I mean? Who do you know, or who have you spoke to in your work network? And how bad are we looking at you realistically on the ground?
All he's got is they've all got like a little PMR radios, and they've only got like a 3 mile range. They're just doing whatever they can. That's pretty much. They're not even going out to calls at this stage. They're just driving around and trying to help what they can. That's the answer you get from that. Okay, so Andy's wrecked out. That's what he's found. Brian's bedding down. A week. So we're past a week. Obviously, fuel stations are out that somebody's mentioned. Actually, do you know what? Before we go to a week, let's go to the comments. I feel like I'm ignoring them. Do apologise. Let's go and have a look. Sorry, I've not unstarred the ones from before. Brian would need a Faraday double garage for all those power banks. Can you Faraday line the workshop? That's a question. Get the Faraday bag stuff.
Couldn't you just couldn't we just do a GoFundMe for Bri and buy like 1 million rolls of tinfoil, and and we could just tinfoil the shed up, the workshop. Sorry.
I think me and you should do that at some point, Andy, just as a joke. Anyway, it sounds like fun. He's gonna wake up to a metal shed.
Please do.
Over the door as well. So he's. Tom Greenhouse says Mike electrocuted on live stream like Home Alone. By this time in Power Outage, Brian has a slight chubby. Glad these guys are taking it as serious as yours. PMC says we have an overhead power line that ends with a small transformer right behind my back fence. Make sure you have plenty of fire extinguishing stuff. That's all I would say for that one. Because if the transformer goes and the cable drops, that fire is going to hit that fence, and I assume it's a wooden fence. So let's just make sure you know it's there. Be ready for it.
Would a CME take the solar out, Bri, or would it be all right?
No, it's toast. The diode packs will be popped in the solar panels. If you look on the back of your solar panels where the MC4 cable goes in, yeah, that's smoked.
Right then. So what I need Mesh-tastic, because as soon as this happens, I need to text Hawkins and just put ha 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 ha.
Can't let things go even in the face of adversity. How effective do you think wrapping electrical goods in ESD safe bags would be? With a CME, it's probably not going to affect them anyway. With an EMP, then
that's different.
Yeah, it's all theoretical. It's all even like people that buy this box with a blinking light and stick it on the car, and now they think it's EMP proof.
Bullshit.
Till it happens, you're not going to know. And when it does happen, who are you going to apply for a refund off?
I'll tell you right now, it's bullshit.
Oh, don't say that. Hawkins has got one of the boxes with the little blinky light.
Yeah, I'll zap it with a mega and we'll see how it lasts. Right?
There you go.
So, in fact, if the company that makes them, if they want to send me one, I'll test it live for them and we'll see how good it is. Yeah.
Preparing the Path might have highlighted something that you might have missed out on there, Andy. Go
mate,
back.
That car, mate, would have been stripped. There's no way on this planet, mate, I would have missed that.
In Newcastle, they've been stripped before there was a CME.
Mike must have been a great dungeon master back in the day. No, I never did that. I played, but I never was telling the story. Petrol garage has no power. Is there a way of getting petrol out if it's deserted?
Yes.
Breaking the caps off and manually siphoning like you would out of a tank, but with a much longer hose. You can get hand pumps, hand cranks. You can get things that like you drop down a well to get water out. Similar sort of thing. At the end of the day, it's a big tank and it's got a pipe with a hole to get to it. So,
could just take out someone's car sitting on the drive.
Yeah, just don't smash the lock off the thing.
Don't use a grinder
with a Flintstone or a grinder. Yeah, it's a short, sharp ending. Don't say you'll all be dead within 6 months. I think Amphi is saying that's not how to win friends and influence people while you're out talking to people. Would a CME take out all electrical cars or motorbikes? Technically, no, but could. It's
an unknown.
It's an unknown.
Because the tech's changed so much. It's a different wavelength for our CME anyway. But the problem with the CME is the attenuation of the power lines taking the wave into your house and amplifying it and blasting everything to shreds. It would depend if it attenuated into the car. Which you have got an aerial anyway, right? You have got a means. So going how sensitive modern electronics are, I wouldn't put a lot of stock in a major CME with a lot of shit working.
Yeah.
Personal opinion, and I might be way wrong.
We wait with bated breath. I mean, it could, and if you've got your electric car plugged into the house at the time it hits, then potential that could be interesting. Just remember them fires from electric cars. They're not something you can throw some sand on or throw a blanket on or hit with a hose. If that's burning, if that's that lithium burning, it's going to burn until there's nothing left. You can't stop it.
See on
where
the
would we
burning front,
scavenge fuss? Yeah. Go on.
see the chap that's got the transformer behind his house. Bear in mind, most of these are oil cooled.
Mhm.
So your little fire extinguisher, this size, ain't going to cut it. Don't even bother. Let it burn out because you've got nothing at home that's putting that out. So stay away from it.
Yeah. Avoid. Same if somebody's Tesla Powerwall is on fire, then yeah, just get them out. Another one was a big thank you to Norfolk Prepper, who became a YouTube member. Don't forget, this is also being streamed over on the Bombardiers channel. If you've not subscribed to the Bombardiers channel, go over and subscribe there. You can watch it from there or watch it from here. Brian, you're not streaming it on yours, are you? No, he's he can't be bothered, but go and subscribe to Scottish Prepper 73 anyway. So
I keep forgetting to press the button.
But it's fine. The message is getting out there. But make sure you check all these guys' channels out as well. We'll give you a few minutes at the end to tell you what it's all about. Week 1. So fuel has been non-existent for people that don't know how to get it. So cars have started to be abandoned on roads and stuff like that. People that got halfway to Granny's house and couldn't fill up anywhere. Petrol stations are absolutely littered with queues of cars that people have just abandoned. Fresh food is spoils. People have started to raid stores and loot and riot. That happened very early on in the inner cities, but it started to spread out to towns purely through frustration. Some places have maintained order, and some shopkeepers have started a bartering system and all sorts of trading things like batteries for cans of food and vice versa. The first wave of looters appears especially in urban areas, and they are setting fire to everything because they do and stuff like that, and just anybody in the way is getting mowed down. There's no news still. There's nothing on the radios. Rumours have been spreading like wildfire. People saying that it's an attack and stuff like that, and that the power's going to come on next week and that the power's never going to come on again, and all of that stuff. Decision points. Do you attempt to contact now other preppers via ham radio, via Meshtastic, things like that? Andy?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah. Putting active calls out or just listening on the channels that you know?
It would be to be fair, mate, I would probably listen to the channel and the comms plan that we've got up on the Discord, but I would be reaching out to people like Suburban Prepper and people who live relatively close to me, and people who I knew were good people and were preppers. I would be reaching out to the closest preppers mate I knew and the closest preppers to me. First of all, but like I said, I would be tuning into the Discord and the comms plan we have purely to see what's going on in the rest of the country and to make sure you guys are okay as well. Would
that just be purely contact at this stage? No, like let's all get together, let's plan. It's just checking in with everyone at this stage.
Well, I think it would be checking in with you and Bri, but I think it would be the ones that live close to me, like Suburban. I think I would be meeting up with and saying, what's it like where you live? You know what I mean?
Can't check on me. You watched me get fried on our last ever live. please check in with Mrs. Urban Prepper instead.
So yes, that's what I would do, mate. I would meet up in person with the preppers closest to me.
Yeah, who could and stuff like that. I mean, some of them are up for that. Some of them are saying, no, just stay in the house for the 30 days. Don't come out. We'll sort something afterwards. So you get a mixed response with that one at this stage. Brian,
but I think it would be about. I mean, even if they didn't want to meet up, mate, at least having comms with somebody who you know lives 2 mile or 3 mile down the road just gives you a bit of peace of mind, and it's just more of a comfort thing, mate. Really, for me, than it would be.
Yeah. Fair enough. Brian, reaching out at this stage, and you've already knocked on doors, so people already know that you've kind of clued up on this. So people have already been coming to you. Do you know what's going on? What should we do now? What should I do now? What should I do now? You've had all that for the last week. Are you reaching out to other preppers at this stage?
In all honesty, I would have probably done that by about the third day at the latest anyway, to get an idea. How's everybody doing? How's things at their end, where they are? And also a bit of reassurance for my own mental health space and theirs, because let's face it, if you're the one that's been doing all the prepping and nobody else around about you has, it's you that's going to have all the pressure. You're Johnny on the spot. So it would be really, really nice to have other people of a same mindset that you can at least see how things are going. Get that? Even if it's only for 5-10 minutes every other day, it'd be nice to know that everybody's still doing their bit. They're okay. They're asking how you're doing, and just in that short time, just that chat, that contact. Even on Mesh.
Yeah. Okay. You've reached a few people from Discord. Some are doing well. Some are not doing so well. Some were caught away from their preps, and they've been in a temporary location. But they've got their comm stuff. Luckily they had their get home bag with them and stuff like that. So there's a mixed response. At this stage, is it still communication? Are you offering help to any of these people?
If they can get to me, yes.
Okay. Are you going to give your location out over the radio?
No.
How are they going to get to you?
The people that we would be talking to on Mesh, that's fine. On a private channel, they would get a location.
Okay.
Not on an open airwave. Not at all.
Right. Okay. Would you give them
The
an alternative
risk-
location to meet them?
It would depend on the security situation on the ground at the time, in all honesty. Because, well, you know where I live, it's not a huge sprawling metropolis. It's a relatively small village. There's no major cities within 4 or 5 miles of it. It would be a good position to stay in and not branch too far out. Now, if they want to tell me where their location is, and it's within walking distance or a commutable distance to get to me, then I can give them some landmarks and a meeting point, a rally point. That's fine.
Okay. Right. Cool. Good
Because
to
you've
know.
got to be common sense.
Yeah, definitely. Not just, here's my address, here's the what 3 words.
Yeah.
Just go on Google. Oh, no, you can't do that.
Bring your hockey mask and a stabby thing, it'll be fine.
So you're both in a relatively safe area at this stage by the end of week 1. Your neighbours, no one's aggressive, nobody's raiding the place, nobody's trying to kick your door down. You don't have to set up machine gun nests or anything at this stage. Everyone's just talking, and the majority people have had at least a week's worth of food in the house or stuff they can eat. You suspect that one person across the road is eating cat food, but that's up to them. At this stage, with your local community, are your supplies still hidden? Are you willing to barter? Or are you willing to give some up to help them? Andy?
I would definitely be into the barter stage, mate, I think.
Okay.
But I'm definitely not giving anything away for free.
What are you looking for in return? You've already got all your preps. It's only been a week. What would you take as barter?
Ooh, good question, mate.
Anyone got the shotgun for these shells I found?
yeah. I mean, to be fair, mate, like, the one thing I'm probably lacking is comms. So I suppose it would be, you know, if someone's hungry enough, if they want to give me a ham radio, something to eat, you know, maybe
Ham for ham.
like that. Yeah, a tin of ham for a ham radio. Maybe something like that. Maybe I would definitely be in the barter stage, maybe. I definitely don't think I'd be giving anything away for free.
Okay.
Or maybe I'll take that back. There's an old lady who lives next door, and there's not an old couple, mate, but elderly couple who live on the end. And then
Good idea. Steal their shit.
and they've helped mainly adult Masons who lived there. So
You want to feed them up anyway because they're old, so they'll die first. So you want plenty of meat
So
on them when they go.
And to be fair, mate, I've been in. He's got a bigger TV than me, so I would go down, mate, and I would.
What are you going to do with it? There's no power.
I have now. Now that I've got solar. Now I've got solar, I can power it. But so the only thing I would but to be fair, mate, it would depend, wouldn't it, on if we're what we in now, a week in, 2 weeks in? Did you say
a week at the end of the first week?
Oh, maybe I won't be battering them, mate. I don't think actually.
No, but you are seeing people that are a bit desperate and asking other people. They've not necessarily come straight to you. They don't know that you use prep.
Not my responsibility, mate, in the slightest.
All right, okay. Cold but firm. I like it. Brian?
What would you like to know?
So basically, your neighbours, no one's being aggressive, nobody's fighting anything. You are starting to think of what's the long-term plan. You're going to have to get these people on side. At this stage, are you helping anyone that's in need of a bit of food? Like that family moved into the house, they've not got loads of stuff. They've not got loads of food. Are you setting up some sort of communal food? Are you bartering?
All of the above. But we would have started a couple of days before then. So the local supermarket had been emptied. Day 3, latest. In this scenario that we know what's happened, rule of law is essentially toast. I know, hand on heart, if that's a CME, that gravity, shit's catching fire, nothing's good. Nothing good. And again, not to panic, MD, nothing good's going to happen anytime soon. So on that basis, it would be trying to motivate people to help me carry stuff from the shop, and we'll put it in a central collection point. Anybody that's been decided they were better off outside the village and buggered off, well, the newly established community council has used your house for other people whose house has been burnt out, and that's how it's going to have to be, because I can't be everywhere and I don't know everything, and we're going to have to try and coalesce or we're all going to die.
I'll tell you what I would do, Mike.
Yeah.
There's a Boots pharmacy near me.
Mm-hmm.
That will be getting hit.
That's already
For
been
God's
hit.
sake.
That's already getting hit by every cracker.
Because as soon as I found that thing in the police car, the next shop would be the Boots.
He's turned over the pensioners. Now he's shooting up. Honestly, I've seen your colours now. This is shocking.
He's
big, you know, guy.
And day 8, all the power comes back on, and they're all looking for Andy the police. No, I'm just.
In fact, I know what I'd do before this happens. If say we found out the 2 p.m, because I know what Hawkins looks like now, I would print out a mask of Hawkins and I'd just mooch about with a Hawkins mask on. So when I'm doing all my looting and pinching, people would think, and then on the back of my t-shirt, I'd be like, I live in where Hawkins lives. So I was mooching about.
Full address. What 3 words?
Yeah. GCHQ.
I regret nothing.
There's some great comments that I'm going to go to now because I've not got to the bottom yet, but I can't get to every comment, guys. I really do apologise. But that's what the super chat's for.
I realised how hard that was, Mike, the other night when me and Brad were just chatting shit and having a laugh.
And you've got to keep talking and keep the thing going while you're looking. So it's multitasking galore. Can you bury things in soil in a cache to help? Yes, I believe even with an EMP, if it's like 2 foot down, there's potential that could be enough. So yeah, the answer is yes. And if it was kind of something that was metal that you were burying anyway, I mean, so there's 2 schools of thoughts. Don't bury a cache that's metal or anything metal on it because metal detectors might pick it up. Yeah? That's the one school of thought. The other school of thought is if it's for something like this and you were doing it in that first 8 to 10 hours, then try and coat it in tinfoil and stuff like that, then stick it underground. But,
I suppose, mate, if he's saying, like me, you've got a garden, could you bury something metal in your garden just to protect from the CME, then take it straight out?
100%.
Because that's what I'd have to do. Not gonna lie.
The thing is, right, so you've got to think of the situation of if you've got 8 to 10 hours, your time's valuable. Can you afford to dig 2 foot into your garden to bury a box and then bury it and stuff like that. If you've got the time to do it, brilliant. Make sure you've done everything else first. So time's a commodity in that situation. So make sure you have a plan in place beforehand. But yeah, great question, Phil. Would taking the battery out potentially save the car or motorcycle?
Doubt it.
It's not that's the issue, right? It's the electronics in there, like the ECU and stuff like that. And if they're gonna receive, it's about the signal wavelength. They might not get it at all, so they might be totally fine. But if they do get hit, it won't matter if they've got a battery or not. It's just gonna fry it.
It'll fry it.
It's a roll of the dice. Protect what you can. Keep
Older
a horse.
cars would be better.
Oh yeah, definitely. And if it's a really old car, no electronics or anything like that, yes, I'd take the battery out just in case, and I'd stick that in a Faraday or whatever. So if you've got time to do so. What about if your electric motorbike is plugged into the solar array? Is it toast under CME? So you're saying the solar's toast, Brian? If it's still connected to stuff, is it got that same fire risk that we have with the main lines?
So it's looking for a path to Earth, right? The wave will propagate through the antenna, which is your pylon, along the cable, transformer, substations. It depends where it breaks down first. It depends on where you are. It depends on a lot of things. But if you've got high voltage and current getting pushed along your power lines into your house, then that is going to go somewhere. If you're really lucky, something will pop first before it incinerates your bike. But bear in mind the speed of this thing going, I mean, there's a good chance it's going to get past a lot of surge protection if there's enough voltage to push it across it anyway. So, I mean, it'll jump air gaps in a lot of cases. So if there's enough push behind it, then it's going to jump a lot of protection. I would assume in that scenario that your bike is toast.
Yeah.
Don't plug anything in. If you've had warning, plug everything out. Everything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just not worth the risk. And please don't think that surge protector you got from Temu is going to save it. It's not that kind of surge. Use the electric car fires for cooking to save on your preps. I don't advise this at all. Mike's closest to me, but I'm not bothering anyone. Oh, so if I need help, I can't. Oh, cheers, Mark. Yeah, just throw me right under the bus. Sod you then. Do you board up from outside or inside? I know what I do. Or my plan is. What's your plan when it comes? You mentioned you've got something pre-cut, Andy.
Yeah.
And how does that work? Is that inside, outside?
To be fair, mate, I've got them for both. But the ones on the outside, mate, would be, how do I put it? The ones on the outside, mate, would be spiky, if that makes sense.
Okay. You've gone full Mad Max on house mode as well.
A bit like mate, if you see cabins, mate, in Alaska, you know, when they've got the covers on the window and the door, and they'll put nails through to stop the bears getting in.
Yeah.
No
bears getting into your house.
Honestly, mate, I'd be full Thunderdome. I'd be in the element.
Where's Andy? He's on his balcony. He's on his balcony with a flamethrower, keeping the bears away.
I'm expecting to see in Crime Watch next week. There's a power cut in his area. Elderly couple slain, right? Man then breaks into boots.
Police car
high as a kite. Police car with no wheels and their lunchbox has been nicked. And he's sitting with spikes on the window.
And the power cut only lasted 2 hours. Fast worker. Brian, is there any plan for securing your home with boarding windows? And if so, inside, outside, pre-cut, where are you at?
Early doors, it would only be inside because aesthetics, if somebody sees light pollution for a start, right? But security, it'd be easier to do it on the inside to get fixings that people can't easily get to with a crowbar on the inside. And also if it's boarded up, people might think it's abandoned and try and come in which case they're having a bad time. Or they might think it's something in there worth stealing and it'll also have the same unpleasant outcome. So best to have it make it look lived in, but not without giving away too much. And you're not compromising your security by having 3/4 inch ply on the inside. Worst case, you get your window smashed, but they're still got to get through the wood.
Yes. Yeah. So that I've pretty much the same setup with pre-cut boards that will like push against curtains. So from the outside, the curtains might look a bit weird because they'll be more pushed against the window, but it's a snug fit for that to go into there.
And that goes to the point I was saying before, mate, about closing all the windows, closing all the curtains, so people can't see what you're doing inside. That mate is if people can't see inside, mate, that's the first layer of deterrence. That. And so you say, and then if you put the boards inside, like Brian said, nobody would even know you've got them there.
So let me throw a curveball at you that's not even written down on my notes for this. What if it's a day like this, or yesterday, or the day before, where we're looking at 30, 32, 33 degrees of heat?
Doesn't matter.
You can't open your windows.
Doesn't matter, mate.
I can open the door. Because I'm going to be in the house. The difference is I'm not going to have the door open at night time. But at night time, if somebody sees a boarded up house from the outside, they might want to try and go there for a place of perceived safety, which it most certainly won't be. Or they might try and steal shit because they think there's stuff boarded for a reason. But cooling wise, as long as there's somebody in the house, you could have your doors open and have airflow that way.
Like I said before, mate, in relation to like carrying heavy burdens, mate, in peacetime, and you think it's doable, you throw that into this situation where you're stressed, you're worried about family, you haven't eaten properly, you haven't sleeping properly. That's where your mindset has to change. So if it is 32 degrees, mate, and you can't, I was saying you can't open the door, that's the price of safety.
Yeah,
you know, like there has to be some, in a situation like this, mate, you're going to have to sacrifice some things that you're used to living with for your safety.
So
neighbours.
Don't break into. So hang on, we need to get this list right. So don't break into this Andy's house, who's got the entire pharmacy and spikes on his windows, flamethrower on his balcony, because he's also completely bollock naked in there
with the Hawkins mask on.
With a Hawkins mask on.
And I've got in permanent marking, mate, I've got Hawkins written on my chest.
He's going to look at this later on and go, "What the fuck?"
He's got so many mentions. He should have a channel. Ken, I agree with Brian. I'd reach out by day 3. Yeah, I mean, if you've got a plan, that's great. Amphia question: how would you deal with the continuity of government summary executions by local traffic wardens issued with pistol sidearms? It's not happening at the moment. I've seen how competent they are being traffic wardens. I don't think I'd worry about their shooting ability.
I've got to be honest, in the short to medium term, months wise, I don't think that's even realistic. You could have people masquerading. Here's a real concern: people saying they're authorities and turning up and sequestering your food for the greater good of all to dish out. That's a possibility. But no, because there's no comms, there'd be no organisation, there'd be no means to do that. There's
no inspiration to carry on doing that when you've got to go home and protect your own family. That is a massive factor of it as well.
And I mean,
exactly.
I know people that are in the police and are in the fire service who would just be at home protecting them.
I mean, to be fair as well, mate, if you give a traffic warden a pistol, the safest place would be in front of that pistol because they're not hitting anything. I wouldn't worry. Like Brian will know, mate. Anyone who shot a pistol knows how hard it is to hit anything with a pistol. Like when you see movies and they're jumping sideways, firing, you're not hitting anything.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah. So the safest place would be in front of a traffic warden if they had a gun.
Rush them.
But let's think about it reasonably, though. Just so, can I answer that one? Just that one thing, because that is a concern people have got. Anybody that's turning up with a firearm and a uniform within a month or two, they probably nicked it, or it's part of their job and they're going rogue for their own desperation and family. Because there's no means to tell them how to go there. There's no motivation to leave their own family at risk. I don't think it's a realistic proposition. I'm not shooting it down. I'm just saying my personal opinion and why.
Yeah,
go on.
I agree, mate. It's like when everyone says, you know, like everyone says when this happens, you know, there'll be martial law with the soldiers on the streets. People forget, mate, the soldiers have families. If you think soldiers are just going to leave their families, do you know what I mean? And they're not going like that. That's how I agree with Brian, mate. Everyone here is going to go insular and look after their own families. I just can't see it, mate, being a case where you're going to have, especially like Bryce said, mate, if rule law's broken down, you're not getting anyone.
Can't contact them. Transmitters have all run out of fuel. There's no comms.
Yeah.
There's no command and control. There's no coordination.
Right. It's Brian. You've knackered. Horace's give away your address. Brian's what 3 words are bring Pepsi Max. I should put that into what 3 words and see if anything comes up. Norfolk Prepper said, would that ham radio have chutney and cheese as well, Andy?
It would indeed.
Who would randomly have a radio but not have their own food, says Marty. It's a good point.
I was thinking of that.
I'll tell you who would, right, mate? There's a guy, when I used to walk the dog, there's a guy who lives maybe, I don't know, 200-300 meters away. And when I used to walk the dog past in his garden, he used like 4 massive antennas. I assume he's into radios or something like that. Just because you're into radios doesn't mean you're a prepper, does it? 100%. My dad used to listen to the radio thing. He's not a prepper. Yeah.
Event organisers will have short radios like PMR radios and stuff like that. Yeah, there's a chance on all sorts. So, Screwfix 8-foot ground rod. Yeah, it's good to stop in the door. 300 members on the Discord. Congratulations, Mike. Congratulations, everyone else, for joining the Discord. So that's awesome to see.
Right, I'm going to leave now. It goes down to 299.
See the chap that mentioned the 8-foot ground rod. He doesn't mean to secure your horse, your house. Sorry, he means it as a path. Your horse.
Have I took a horse now? Have I robbed a horse now?
With the Hawkins mask, naked, murdered the neighbours, high as a kite with flamethrower. The horse is in fire.
At first, I thought this could be a T-shirt design, but it's getting too complicated even for me.
No. If I'm interpreting the post properly, when he means an earth rod like that, it's it'll be an earth rod, I'm assuming. Fire it in the ground. Yeah, it's for grounding purposes. It's not for securing your house.
Oh no, put a big rod in front of your door. Cool. Right, we've done that. Night watch, gentlemen. Are we keeping guard at night? At this stage, how are we doing that? Is that personal? Is that with your community? What's the plan of action there? Andy, you've got less bodies than Brian will have in the household. How are you managing evenings?
Sounds like he's got at least 4 bodies in it already.
The horse is on watch.
I'm rounding people. I'm rounding people up with my flamethrower. To be fair, mate, I would just do the night shift.
Yeah.
Because I'm just doing it, and I would sleep during the day.
Okay.
I think that's the way we would have to work it.
Yeah. And would the missus be up through the day so you just have to swap over? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Would you not get the community involved at this stage? You've already mentioned reaching out to local preppers and stuff like that. Would it not be the idea to band up with Suburban, something like that?
I suppose. Well, what week are we on now?
This is still the end of the first week.
Oh no. I'm still enjoying myself. So I'm still quite happy to do.
I'm still on the horse.
I'm still on the horse. I'm just roaming at night on my horse and my flamethrower. No, not in the first week, mate. I would be. Yeah, it would just still be us two.
All right. First person to put a picture of Andy on a horse naked with a flamethrower on the Discord wins a prize. Brian, security at night. What's the plan?
Yes, but let's not call it security because it will scare people. Firewatch.
Firewatch.
So we're going to in the first week we're going to have people on Firewatch because we already had fires. Mm-hmm. Also, they're going to be lighting fires because it might be a time of the year that they're cold. So, and they might be using candles for illumination. So we want a Firewatch on the streets for everybody. So you're going to need that. And also, you can't do everything. You've got to be realistic. You can't do everything. You're not all things to all men, and you can't be everywhere. And people need to be busy, need to be involved. They need a sense of purpose. So it's got lots of benefits, getting everybody involved, and it's building esprit de corps. That would be my take on it, aspirationally.
Okay. Just before we roll into ahead in time, Brian, the family that you've already give charity to come banging on the door. She needs antibiotics, this kid. Have you got any? Please, sir.
No. I'm sorry, I don't have any of that. That's
No.
You're a horrible person, Mike. Honestly, fuck.
I'm challenging you, Brian. I'm challenging you.
It would hurt my soul to do it, but I would have to say no in that situation because I've got children and a grandchild of my own, and unfortunately, they might need that. And I'm really sorry, but no, I would have to say I don't have any.
Any suggestions? She's got a really high temperature. She's not eating. She's barely staying awake.
So have a quick check. Make sure there's no obvious signs of infection. She's not getting any cuts or anything like that. Anything that's got infected. Try quenching her in the bath. Give her some aspirin or whatever to try and bring her temperature down as well. I would do what I could, and we would also scavenge every other house that we could find that was empty and look for any. And also the Tesco that we've decimated. That doesn't have a pharmacy actually, but there's a pharmacy next door. We might have been able to get some, but I wouldn't give up my personal stock.
Yeah.
Assuming Andy's not got there with the horse. If there's a big horse's shit outside it, there's nothing left.
I was laughing at that comment.
Have you? Oh well, we'll go into this next week. You've not looted boots and stuff. You know you're going to wait till past week one, like Andy. Right. Time moves on. Things stay pretty much the way they are. Some other people, you see a few people locally that pack bags and start to disappear on foot. You unfortunately also, there's a few people in the community that decide they don't want to live in a world like this. So we know what happens there. So this starts to happen. Disease begins to spread due to poor sanitation. Nobody in the prep stage mentioned toilets. Nobody mentioned digging latrines. Just throwing that out there. Armed gangs form in some of the areas. People are starting to band together, and you know the looters that survived are starting to group up. Organised group begin taking over community centres and schools. Wild animals become a problem in outer suburbs and country areas. So we're 2 to 3 weeks. This is where we're at now. Before I ask you the questions, is there anything that's dramatically changed in your situation? Have you done anything different at this stage, Brian?
I would like to think we'd consolidated the position. Everybody knew what was expected. With a rough idea of our food. We'd broached our security situation. We'd blocked a bridge. We'd blocked other access road. We'd secured water. Everybody had a role. Everybody had a job. Everybody knew who was in charge, who the committee was. And we might even have tentative contact with other communities that we could work with. That I would hope.
Okay. Andy, was much changed? Flamethrower, spiky hell.
Yeah, I've got by this point, mate. I've got a double flamethrower, 4 horses, and a car. I just ride around like the Wild West. Just burn everything
yes,
around.
It's become a chariot.
Yeah, chariot of fire.
Running around, shouts, "I am Hawking Spartacus." Yeah, before you answer, Andy, I am really sorry. I'm really sorry. Somebody has already
sent a picture.
I hope it's good.
That does not look like Andy.
It does. That is spitting image. That is spitting image.
Tell the truth, you sent that in yourself. Come on, you sent that in, didn't you?
That's the picture on the top corner of his CV.
I'm going to put that as my banner on YouTube.
Right. All seriousness, though, Andy, where are you at this stage? 2 to 3 weeks in, have you made any inroads to anything else, or are you just holding out at this stage?
So, in light of everything you just said, then, mate, I think the cul-de-sac would be cordoned off.
Mm-hmm.
So there's only one way into the cul-de-sac. by vehicle. So that would be barricaded off just with the empty vehicles. Like you said, they're not going anywhere. So at least nobody could drive in. And then there's one entry at the back by foot. That would be quite easy to secure. So those two things, mate, will be done to make the cul-de-sac more secure. Anybody who's left in the cul-de-sac, mate, I would be trying to form the community with, and make the cul-de-sac a community. And there's quite a lot of land around us, mate, that you could secure to start growing food. I'm not saying I'm at that point yet, but that would be a discussion where I'm talking to the community. This is X, Y, Z of the plan. We need to start doing this. We need to start forming. We need to start doing things in a sequenced order. And at that stage as well, mate, I definitely would be in scavenging mode. Then I would be going out and about and looking for what was left, what's valuable. I mean, even if it's something I didn't need, mate, I'd probably take it in light of somebody else might need it at some point, so it becomes a bartering item. So that mate for me would be in full swing. And then, like I say, on a night time, I'd be round about my flamethrower, making sure nobody comes near my preps.
Yeah. Just a quick to the chat. This is a theoretical scenario. We're playing a game here. This is all make believe. Please do not say anything in the chat that could incriminate yourself or jeopardize yourself or put you in any sort of hot water. There you go. Fair warning.
What an idea! What an idea! Look at this. Snapdragon mate's upgraded me. She said I've got a couple of tigers. And he has a couple of tigers on leads by now. Look at this. I'm the Tiger King. I'll grow myself a mullet.
Right. So it's now Andy Leanne and Carol Baskin in the house. Right. So you've said roughly where you're at. You've both kind of looked at the community aspect of that. Are preppers now getting involved? Are you going to pull any of them preppers that you've made the contact with in and offer them this as a place? Bear in mind, some vehicles are still working, things like that. They could bring their stuff with them. There is ways and means. Is this a time to consolidate the people you do know and the people you already trust in a way? Brian?
Yes. If it's anybody you trust at all with a skill set that you can use and you can help them, then yeah, that's the whole point of us being here. That's the whole point of us talking. That's the whole point of all the prepper meets, is to sound out people and see if it's somebody you could work with, somebody that you could help, or they could help you. That's the whole reason we do this.
Or somebody that's just food.
I know it'll annoy people that we have a laugh when we're doing this, and you've got to keep it trying kind of light-hearted. It's a serious subject, but we can inject a bit of humour.
Yes, yeah. If you've got to laugh,
And tigers.
Yeah. Andy, reaching out to preppers by now.
Yeah, definitely.
He's got a zoo.
I've got tigers.
I need someone to smuck out the horses.
yeah. Before the tigers eat them. Yeah, I would, mate. Because I think if you're starting. If we were on about the community-based stuff there, you would need people with the same mindset, like Brian said, people you trust. You would need people around you, and of course, who you could trust, put trust in to get things done. As in terms of, if you were dealing with security one day, you could have Suburban taking them to plant stuff, or you could be taking them to collect water, or you could be you would need people, mate, like Brian said, mate, with those skill sets who you could outsource the teaching and run of other things.
Yeah.
And so definitely, mate, I would be asking and consolidating preppers to where I live. Or to be fair, mate, if they had a Goldilocks area and it was perfect, I would be happy to go. I'd be happy to go and move there.
Okay, so the follow-up question was that. So you've been in touch with these preppers, and I know you guys are not near each other and stuff like that, but you're both gonna imagine the same scenario on the radio. They've come over the radio. It's someone you know. They've been to every other meet. You get on with them fine. No problems at all. They've got the skill sets. They are ex-military for 10, 15 years. They're very well prepared. And they have what used to be a stately home fully secured, and they've got about 12 people there already. They are offering you to get there. Right? Based on the situation you're in now, are you still staying put with your preps and everything you've got in place, or is this a better option? And if so, how are you getting you, yourself, any people, and your equipment there? Right?
Well, there's a question.
It's about 3 miles away.
If it's 3 miles away, then no, because we could mutually support one another. Where the geography here is advantageous. If it's 3 miles away and they've got it secured, then we can still help one another. There's no need to move.
Okay.
We could mutually support across 3 miles without having to. You would lose more in the move. You would kill morale if you just up-sticked and left. You're going to bump into these people that are 3 miles away that you've just tried to build a community, and in the middle of the night you've just fucked off and left them. Couldn't do that. I couldn't do that.
Yeah, but this is a one-time offer, Brian, because it'll be full up before if you don't get there. And are you sure? We've got it really secured? Unless
things had deteriorated here, if this was secure, if things were set up and with a realistic chance, then I know how things are here versus what somebody's telling me there. Regardless of how well I know them or whatever, it might not be as good. At the very least, you would need to go and scout it out first before you make any decision like that. You'd need to see.
Okay, cool. Andy, are you moving?
Yeah, I was going to say what Bryce said then, mate, like in the beginning when I said for me it's all about intelligence. If it was only 3 miles away, mate, I'd go and spend 24, 48 hours there.
Okay.
And see what the lay of the land was, see how much. It's all good and well, mate, telling me you've got a Goldilocks position, but have you really?
Okay,
and
so
to be fair, mate, if he says the Royal Engineer, I'm not going. I'll just take the risk on my own.
Let's not mention the new film because it'll get Brian on a rant. But have we all seen 28 Days Later, the original?
Yeah.
That's the setup they've got. That kind of stately home, good boundary areas. They're equipped, everything like that.
I would still do the same thing, mate. I would go and I would spend maybe 48 hours there.
Okay.
Because if they've just managed to take it over, but I don't know what the maintenance costs, what the upkeep is. Do you have enough people to maintain that? What's your actions on if people try to take it from us? What's your actions on reference going food? If all these things, mate, like there's too many variables for me to just say, yeah, I would go.
Okay. Recon's fine. Recon's absolutely fine. So at the moment, you're both staying put, as it were. You've been to visit. You think you're okay. It's not that far away and stuff like that. Are you building fortifications at this point? Or are you still looking like a regular town, regular village, regular area? I know you said you've cordoned off kind of thing, but does it start to become Walking Dead and like a Viking village with spiked poles? What's happening there? Andy?
I think it would be, to be fair, mate, no one's come close to me when I've got 2 tigers and a flamethrower there. I'm pretty safe from needing spiky sticks.
They're on the windows.
Yeah, they're on the windows, yeah. Miss Williams just said Goldilocks has Andy got bears now. So I've got grizzly bears now.
More zoo.
Yeah, this is new. You have to the Newcastle Zoo. But no, mate, I think I would have defensive fortifications. I don't know, mate, whether... Well, you would have to, mate, I suppose, wouldn't you, if you're talking people coming into loot and you were talking about those types of things, but you would have to. You would have to have some type of. I mean, I think the first thing I would do, mate, is I would have an early warning system. So I would, even if it was something crude, like when you see the lines with the tin cans on with the stones in, I would have something, mate, that would alert you early off.
Yeah. Okay.
And then so that's where would be the first instance, mate, I think.
So more subtle, yeah.
You hear the tigers growling.
And the bears.
Brian, have you got spiked fences everywhere, cars stacked up, or is it still looking like a regular village?
With the best will in the world, after 3 weeks, it would have long since ceased to look like a peaceful village, because we'd fires on day one, abandoned cars that we've had to move to try and secure a position, with a railway line running across. There's a perimeter fence round the school, and it's in an elevated position. The trees that are obstruct the kill zone, for want of a better word, on the hill would be chopped down and stacked for the winter. And any that you couldn't burn or weren't suitable for burning would be staked.
Yeah. Okay.
I think you've went from passive security to active security within the first week, I would suggest.
So would you make it a purposely visual security for anyone approaching?
Oh yeah, 3 weeks in, yeah. You're not an easy target. You're an armadillo.
Funnily enough, Brian, speaking of people approaching, a desperate man shows up.
What am I, Charlie Brown? He gets fucking lions and tigers. I get dying orphans. What the fuck?
Is it? So basically,
Where's my lion, Mike? Where's my lion?
He's turned up. He's got a little car, and it's full of supplies, ammunition, stuff like that. Some really good stuff. But
Yes.
he wants to trade in exchange for antibiotics. He's obviously alone, and he's visibly wounded. Are you going to let him in? Are you going to help him? Are you going to detain him? Are you going to trade?
I'd want to talk to him. I'd want to sound him out. I'd want to see the body language. Have a quick look at the wound. Is it something that's going to be potentially fatal? What's his demeanour? Does he look well fed? Is he edgy? Is he shifty? Is he looking about? Is there any obvious comms on him? Because I mean, he might be a plan.
To judge him, he's like meeting a fellow prepper. He's very clued up. It's just something he doesn't seem to have. He's got a lot of supplies. He's on the road. He's not interested in coming joining your community and living there. He just needs to trade, and he's on his way somewhere else.
He looks like one of those steroid zombies from 28 Years Later.
I'd set Jimmy
Spoilers.
Savile on him then.
Mike, you can just hear the pennies dropping off there.
I know, I can see all that. I've just felt all that money from this video just disappear. Any donations and any patrons are really appreciated because of Brian.
Well,
but that's the demeanour. It's a visible wound. It's looking like it's starting to become infected. He's obviously clued up. He knows this. So he knows he needs the antibiotics. Are you going to trade? Are you going to help him?
If he's got something that we need, then we would trade, right? If we've got something we can spare, we've got spare antibiotics we've nicked from Boots. We got there before the horse, so we've got antibiotics potentially, and he's got something we need, then we'd trade. But rather have a friend than an enemy, help him with his wound. Yeah. Again, offer him the chance. If he wants to come in, he can get treated inside the gate, but only inside the gate. And you wouldn't want to be showing him anything.
No, he's worried about how savage your community looks with the spiky fences and heads on poles. So he just wants to trade at the gate and take his antibiotics and go.
That's fine. Then that's fine. If he had things we needed, we would do that.
There you go. So Brian won't give it to a dying little girl, but he'll trade it off for some goodies.
The problem is, and here's the problem, there might be things in that car that would save potentially 20, 30 people, and I've no idea whether the antibiotics for this person, small child or not, would be wasted. And
somebody made a point before that antibiotics is something that if you don't give them the wrong ones, it could have killed her anyway. Yeah. So you're right. I'm just winding you up with it.
No, I know.
And a similar situation. A guy shows up offering random bits of plenty of food for the horses and stuff like that.
Now.
You've got plenty of stuff from Boots that you took. He just wants to trade. Are you trading? Are you sending him on his way?
Not getting nothing off me.
No.
Nope.
Shocking.
Release the tigers.
Release the bears. No, I'm not, mate. Purely for the reason, mate. If I give him antibiotics, he then knows I have them, doesn't he? If he then leaves, mate, and joins a group through desperation that isn't as well adjusted as him, and they're like, "Well, what can you give us?" And he's like, "Well, I know a guy who's got a stockpile of antibiotics than what Pum ever got. So he's getting nothing off me, mate. Nothing at all. I'm saying I've gotten out.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That's your decisions. Coming to the end here now. 4 weeks in, day 30, we are talking the new normal. There has been no signs of continuity of government whatsoever. So we don't know what's happened to them. Maybe they got overthrown in London. I have no idea. But survivors begin forming small settlements, and people become little dictators, and mayors are starting to declare regions, and it's all becoming a bit like that. Do you hear that the word National Guard units may be organising? So TA units, stuff like that, military units. I know I've said National Guard, but we don't have that. We might do one day. Start organising, but you're not sure under what authority. As they come round, they're asking about supplies. Are you going to cooperate, thinking this could be the rebuild of civilization? And if it's a refusal, how are you going to do that? Because it's a delicate situation. These guys are well equipped. There's quite a few of them, well armed, military personnel. Andy,
I think in the first instance, mate, I would act like I was hungry and I was desperate before they even asked me a single question. I'll be running up and down, have you got any food? What have you got for us? Are you eat help? I'll be on the front foot, mate, pretending like I've got nothing.
Yeah.
And then off the back of that, mate, I would ask what the rank structure is and who's giving you orders to be here, where the orders are coming from. Because if there's nobody, if central government isn't working, there's no one here, I'll be asking what rank structure you've got and where the orders are coming from, who's in charge, who's giving you direction.
Okay. Brian, cooperate, or are you up for a firefight at the gates?
Everybody loses when bullets start flying.
Yeah.
We're open to trade. What do you offer? And I could call myself anything I wanted. It doesn't mean I'm the military or whatever. All you've got, there's strangers come past this gate every day with tooled up different things. They're just more strangers. What do you want? What you offer?
Yeah.
I think in that term as well, mate. You know, like we said earlier, where we said, are they actually National Guard or are they actually who?
You've no idea.
Like in that essence, mate, there would be things that we would know, wouldn't there?
So I mean,
like the way they were dressed.
I liked your response of going up and pretend you're hungry, but we can speculate and we can assume all we want. But in the scenario, these guys are at the gates, Brian.
Yes.
How do you deal with that? Because you don't want things to start flying. They're basically saying, we need a supplies list, we need a survivors list, we need to know what you have, we need to know how long you can sustain yourself, and we need to know what you need.
We'll take anything you can give us in terms of food, water, medical supplies, because we don't have any.
Okay.
And you're not getting in.
How many people are here?
A few.
How many?
Whatever number we've got, I tell them it's double.
Well, can we come in and have a look?
No.
I think
but
you should let us in.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we've got a slight cholera problem at the moment, so that's why I'm at the gate. So we don't want to pass on any infections, but we do appreciate your concern. If you want to come back maybe in a couple of weeks when hopefully we've got the outbreak under control, then that would be great. And if you want to drop off any food and medical supplies at the gate, that'd be great. But we've got infectious people in here, so sorry.
We could play this conversation out a long time, but okay, we'll take it there. It's good. It's good.
If they said that to me, I'd just say, just walk through that tunnel with the bears and the tigers. And if you pass the flamethrower, you can see how many people we've got.
And the old people bodies on the spikes.
That's what Andy thinks. That's what Andy thinks he's saying, but from their perspective looking in, he stood there completely naked with Hawkins written across him with a mask on going, I didn't even say this! He's gone.
Brilliant.
Just a few general questions. Andy, how do you deal with internal dissent in your group?
Kick them out.
Okay, by consensus, by dictatorship?
No, that would just be my call. They will be gone.
Fair enough. Brian?
Depends what the problem is. I mean, people will argue. People are stressed. People are frightened. So people will fight and argue. It's going to happen, right? If it's two men having a ruckus and they're pushing and shoving, okay, do you really want to go for it? Have at it, right? Don't kill one another. Get out your system if you need to. But you can only do it here. Right here, in the middle of the gym hall in the school or whatever. That's it. All conflicts get sorted here, and it's forgotten. You shake hands and get out. That's it. It's big boy rules.
Okay. And now it's 30 days in. I assume you've made inroads into it, but are you preparing for long-term agriculture, or have you have you got a potential evacuation plan if you have to leave? Andy?
Yeah, I would be. The agriculture thing, mate, would be the first on the list. Like I said, there's loads of land around me to get that underway. So that would be, 100%, mate, that would be the first on the go. And in terms of evacuation plan, mate, yeah, definitely would. But it would only be to an area of the estate where it would be a house or houses that were vacant, that were checked on a regular basis, that we could move into. I wouldn't be evacuating to, I wouldn't be bugging out, essentially, you know what I mean? It would just be to another local area. Or potentially, mate, if I had no choice and we had to leave, I'd just go to that stately home. Because then I will be between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah.
And that would be the next best option for me. Even if I only stayed there for a week, it will give me enough time there to, like Brian said, consolidate intelligence, find out where I can go next and move on from there.
Mm-hmm. Brian, food growing, agriculture, and a bug out plan for the entire community.
The agriculture, again, you can't be all things to all men. I would kill a plastic plant. I know nothing about growing anything, right? I would kill it. So this is where you would need to get help from people that might know in the community. You would have to get that sorted out within the second week and at least have a plan for cutting down firewood, right? Start seasoning things. You've got to be planning a couple of seasons ahead because we know nothing's coming back. I know hand on heart at that stage it's not coming back. So we need to be 2 or 3 seasons ahead of the game and start stockpiling. It's a survival game we're in now.
Yeah.
As far as bug out, this is where I'm going to be contentious and probably a bit of a selfish bastard. I would have a bug out plan, but it would only be for my family, and I wouldn't tell anybody else about it. Because if I did have an escape and evasion plan for the whole community, which isn't practical anyway, then they might think
evasion's not, but moving on via convoy, right? Security numbers still.
Yeah, it is, but to go where? And then you're potentially taking 200-300 people out into the sticks, into the trees. They're all going to die. I would keep it low numbers. If it was that desperate to go somewhere, I would make sure my family all know, right, we're going to go here. If anything happens, we all meet at this location. If the place gets bumped, somebody's taking over the village and we split up, we're all going to meet at this rally point. They've all got a bag and they know where to go, and we deal with it from there. We go from there. But that would be an extremist situation. The place has been tipped over and everybody's in shit state. At least the kids would know, my wife would know, and I would know. We're going to go to this rally point and we'll wait here for everybody else, and we'll wait 10 hours after things go to shit, and then we'll look at it from there.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So, scenario index, as it were. Question for both of you. If this was to happen, so bear in mind, of all the things I prepare for, percentage chances, scientific, statistical percentage chances, this will happen in the next 20, 30 years. At a like 12 to 20% range. So, I mean, that's not a lot. There's still 80% chance it won't, but that's a high percentage considering all the stuff we prep for is a lot lower than that. If you know this is going to happen in the next 5 years, Brian, how does your real world preps now change, if anything, and what would you do differently?
Nothing would change, and I wouldn't do anything differently.
Okay, fair enough. Andy, this is a guarantee. 5 years, this is going to happen. What changes? What would you do differently? What would you accelerate?
I would accelerate my comms plan, mate. I think.
Okay.
I think that's the thing that I'm lacking in, because I really have nothing. So if I knew it was going to be a thing in 5 years, my network and then my mag building would ramp up and my comms plan would ramp up. I think if I knew it was going to happen in 5 years, and that would, all my focus, mate, would be pushed at that.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you, gents. I've got 15 starred comments to go through, but wait just there, and we will go through them. Before we go through them, there's still 105 people in here. Well done for the endurance. Brian, tell them about Scottish 73 really quick. Scottish
Really
73.
quick. Lately, I've been doing more reviews than anything else, because unless something real world changes, I won't have any topics to discuss that I've not already done. Although somebody did ask me to do an overview of petrol generators and starting using them with a power bank to top it up over the seasons, I'll add that in later on. So I've got another 3 power bank reviews still to do, and I've put up a lot of content in the last couple of months. So that's more. It'll be more of the same. Power banks, solar panels. Yeah.
Excellent channel. If you've not already subscribed, please go and subscribe to Scottish Prepper 73. Very responsive as well. If there's a power bank that he's not done a review on or something like that, he's more than open to suggestions, and any excuse to buy another power bank or solar panel, he'll take it. Andy, tell us about the Bombardier and your new channel.
Oh yeah, so the Bombardier channel, mate, is all about prepping, obviously. And there's a lot of gear reviews on there. There's some stuff up there about solar panels, thanks to Bry. There's stuff up there about Timu and is it really titanium, even though some people seem to be upset now that I'm testing to see if it's real. And my other channel, mate, is Shadows and Sightings, mate, and that's all about paranormal, UFOs, and all that type of stuff, because I've experienced quite a bit in my life. So there'll be a video going up there tomorrow, or a couple of videos going up there tomorrow. And that's purely made off the back of people being interested about UFOs and that type of stuff. But the prep mod, mate, is still going to be my main one.
Excellent.
And that's obviously why I do the firesides and why I got the meats and things.
Yeah. So, for a completely different perspective on prepping, from military support's perspective and really good gear reviews and testing the crap out of Timu titanium, go and check out Andy's Bombardier channel. And if you're into the UFOs, new channel coming there, which should be really fun. I know me and Brian will be subscribed up to that straight away. And before we go into all your comments, a big shout out to Prepper70, my first ever Patreon subscriber. So thank you very much for that. Really appreciated. You can support my channel through that and through all the links in the description. In the comments, Lewis says he's always a watch at night. If I was a caveman, I'd be the one sat at the entrance on guard. Mark's Adventures, who of the panel have or would think of getting body armor, and if so, what kind? Brian's about to show you. There you go. What's that, Brian? Brand and type.
So this is an Atkiss. It's current police issue. It's Kevlar. It's got Serpi side plates in it. It's got panels here to insert ballistic plates, which are here. So you've got the soft Kevlar side, then you've got the ballistic plates to put on it.
Okay.
They can be relatively cheap. I mean, disclaimer, you can get the proper military plates for about 80 quid on the same. If you go to one stop cop shop, He's got an eBay shop as well. But if you put in One Stop Cop Shop, the guy does really good used police next military body armour, all different types, budgets, male, female, all shapes, sizes, body lengths. He's worth checking out.
Yeah. Andy, do you have or thinking of getting any?
The only thing, mate, that I've ever used is Osprey body armour.
Okay.
So if I was going to get anything, mate, I would potentially, I would get that. Only because I know it works and I use it in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And it saved a lot of lives. That's the only thing I've ever used, mate, is Osprey. So if I was going to get something, I would probably get a hold of it in the UK. Yeah, that's the only thing I've used, mate. So it would just be Osprey for me.
Cool. I've not got any. It's on the list, but budgets and priorities. But yes, I will. I am thinking about it. Thank you for the question, Mark. Mark. I have visions of Andy as the horseman from Sleepy Hollow with his flamethrower. Amphia question: when do folks go John Wick shopping for robust and precise hole punches?
Day 1, hour 1.
Yeah, well, we saw that Andy was out within the first week, and Brian needs musts. He will go out if he has to go and get stuff. So I don't think there's a fixed timeline on it. That's when Paul mentioned give her the wrong antibiotic; it could make her worse. Hungry dogs worry me. I don't think that gets enough attention, to be honest. They are pack animals. They will revert to pack animals very quickly.
They were, mate, a big problem in Afghan then. Because they used to roam about, mate, in packs.
Yeah.
And you can only assume what they're eating because there was nothing out there to eat.
Yeah.
So,
and was it a brutal solution, or did you just have to try and scare them away? Or?
I can imagine it was, mate. Yeah. Like I said, mate, they used to roam back, mate, about packs of 20.
Wow.
And they were huge as well. They were like wolves.
Yeah.
They were massive things.
Yeah, it's definitely a concern. It's something you should think about. Thank you, Miss Worm. I would say army would be on the streets moving people around, maybe. You've got to think that the armed forces personnel are the same as the police, the fire brigade, everything like that. If there's nobody there giving orders, they will be very much for themselves. Maybe a bunch of the lads that are single and not got a family at home might band together and, try and do something there, but I don't think any sort of organisation would be in place. Andy, correct me if I'm wrong. You got the insight?
It's true, mate. And the amount of logistics, mate, it takes to do something like that would be huge. Like when we helped out with the floods in York in 2015, that down there, mate, it was only 600 lads, and the amount of money and logistics, mate, and resources that took to get 600 lads down there and do that was phenomenal. So the fact that if you think 60,000 people anyway spread across 66 million people is going to make a difference somehow.
The only way it would have worked, in my opinion, is if it was a pre-plan that was in place and everyone knew what to do. Everything was there ready to go. And if this happens, this is what you do. It's like they're executing orders from day one, and that might have kept a bit of control, but I can't see
True, mate, it might have, but then you have to take all of the emotion element out of it. You have to take out the fact that people have got family and kids.
Exactly.
And that's everyone's primary motivator. So that, mate, in my view, would never be a thing.
Well, thank you, Pete. There you go. Amphia question: would you consider moving to a UK equivalent of a FEMA camp, which is next to a Bill Gates synthetic meat production factory? Don't bother answering. I'll answer for all of us. No. If anyone offers you a really nice camp to come and stay in, don't listen. 3 weeks in, Vlad the Impaler time, says Kane. I'm going to hold up on an oil rig in the wash. No problem with raiders, but food is another matter. Get some really long fishing lines and make sure you have a plan to get off it. Sorry, my tigers have eaten everything, said Andy.
And the horse escaped you.
Didn't they do that in World War II? Ask everyone to declare what they had. To a degree, I know businesses had to, butchers, places like that, they had to keep a tally of everything.
I think the difference with that is, mate, as opposed to our scenario as well, is society was still intact. The government was still intact. Everybody had a common goal to work towards. That's the difference in that scenario. More people
It's
will put more effort. Yeah.
It all boils down to communication, right? It's not about the power keeping the lights on and keeping the freezer going or anything like that. All these things we can prep for. It's that lack of communication that we saw in Spain that turned what we expected to happen in a week happen in 6 hours.
Yeah. Scary, that was.
Yeah, it's communication. Yeah. Eye-opening, definitely, 100%. 80 million folks on this island with enough agriculture to output feed for 20 million. Even if agriculture has the fuel and fertilizer they have now without a CME. Yeah, I mean, that's the problem. Even if they maintained control, there's going to be major issues down the line there anyway. Raider Farm, Agricultural Museum, old ploughs, hand tools, and farming techniques. 100%. Museums.
Good idea, that.
Museums are a trove. I've already mapped where every museum is near me. That is one thing that's there's lots of tools that can be reused there. I'm currently working on my comms, nearly there. Car equipment to be expanded in hidden caches. Excellent, Mark. Good. Sounds awesome. I think that's going to have to be it. No, it's not. The only legal defense tool in the UK is an alarm and your phone. So that's that. But I'll be doing different videos on stuff like that on Patreon. Hopefully these guys will join me on a platform where we can't get demonetized and shouted at and banned, and we'll do some videos on stuff we can't talk about on here on there, so that should be fun at some point. Another Discord link in there by Miss Worm, who's done an awesome job tonight. Thank you, Miss Worm. We got over 300 people, over 300 preppers, over 300 brains to pick on Discord. Great place to be, and you get to see a picture of Andy naked on a horse with fire. So why wouldn't you join just for that?
Well,
Brian, any final thoughts and goodbyes from you?
No, it was a lot of fun. It's a scenario that I power failure in general worry about and prep for more than any. So yeah, good fun.
Cool. Andy, any final thoughts and goodbyes?
Yeah, mate, if I can send anyone a picture of Hawkins and then make me a good quality mask, hit me up on Discord for future videos. No, it was good, and I also have a good laugh on the firesides, mate. Yeah, and it's been good. Been a good chat again. So yeah, it's been a good one, mate, tonight.
Excellent. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you for the continued support on the channel, and go and support these guys' channels. They give up the time for this every week, and it's absolutely awesome of them. So thanks very much, guys, and we'll see you in another one really soon. Goodbye.
Bye, guys.
See you later.
Round the fire, warm and bright, stocked up food for the night. Got our plans set in gold for the days when it's cold. Tools and gear stacked up high in the cabin we reside, listening to the winds howl, prepping for the morning's prowl. At the purpose fireside we stay, ready for that fateful day. Stories shared and hearts alight, round the fire every night. Water stored in jugs and tins, bunkered down through thick and thin. Maps and routes all drawn and laid, preppers live unafraid. At the preppers fireside we stay, ready for that fateful day. Stories shared and hearts